Hey there, YouTube. Welcome again to my second part of my list. So, apparently, I don't know how to count. So, what I thought was 10 through 6, it's gonna be, well, it was 10 through 7. So now I'm just gonna do the rest and do 6 through 1. So, hope you all enjoy it. You're gonna have to enjoy it 6 through 1. So, there was another honorable mention that I forgot to bring up, and it's this show, School Life. This show, as a whole, has very mixed emotions with me. I loved the opening show. The opening episode was outstanding. It got me hooked right away. I let all my friends know and said, you gotta see this, because it had a twist opening that just had me going, okay, where are you gonna go with this? And that's what I wanted to see happen. As the show progressed, I loved the characters. I loved the direction where they were going at first, and then they got kind of cutesy girly and kind of weird. They had a swimsuit episode in a zombie apocalyptic world. The ending was terrible. I'm just gonna say that right now. The ending was terrible. When you take something and kind of bend the rules of what traditional zombies are and turn it into your own thing and make it stupid and talk into a microphone and talk to zombies and say, oh, I love school. School is great. And they all fucking walk away just because of that. That's where you lose me. That's where you lose me. And that's where I say, what? And when someone gets bit by a zombie and somehow either you remove the arm or just find these magical fucking pills that make you better, and then all of a sudden you're better and you're not a zombie, that's where I call bullshit. I'm an old school zombie fan. You get bit by a zombie, you die. You don't live. There could have been some conflict between, these characters of whether someone should live or die, and to make that go through their mind. That's what makes a good zombie flick. Hell, High School of the Dead fucking did that. And all it is an Ichi with zombies. And it did it right. But this show, everybody praises it for being this and being that. Oh, don't get me wrong, I give it credit. It had great editing, it had great setup and build up, but the payoff was nothing. The payoff was terrible, and the payoff didn't make me want to watch anymore. The dog died and unburied itself. The fucking friend was walking around and wrote on the wall, and I'm just thinking, you can't do that. Something that's a time-honored tradition with zombies and how zombies are and how the rules of zombies are, you can't change that and just say, oh, we can do whatever the fuck we want. This isn't, yeah. Then you get stuff like Twilight if you do stuff like that, and I hate that. I would have given it probably a higher rating if it had actually done what it should have done. But, you can't win them all. The last episode just kind of let all the air out in my fucking balloon because I was just getting so pumped and pumped and pumped and pumped, and then just nothing. Hell, I would have even excused all the moe girl and all that cutesy stuff if it had just had that payoff, but it didn't. So that's my honorable mention for School Life. This was the perfect ending to probably my favorite arc in all of the JoJo series. The first one was pretty good, the second one was even better than the first one, and this one was out fucking standing. It had some of the best fighting scenes you'll ever see in an action anime. and a great confrontation with the final boss, Dio, and all around it was amazing. It was great. It was fun. It was 50 episodes long, and it was worth the wait just to see him finally get to Dio and finally get to see them kick his fucking ass. And some people got lost along the way. Rarely do you see people die in these shows, but they did, and took great sacrifices, and it was real tragic when they died. They're gonna make a 4th season. I think it's called JoJo Diamond is Unbreakable. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. But if you're a fan of action, and if you want to get on to this JoJo series, like I made a review about it in the past, about how it is just brilliantly animated. It looks really cool. I love the art style. This particular season was a fun ride once it finally got there, and the fight scene, which I think lasted 3 episodes long, the whole epic fight was just well worth the wait, in my opinion. When it comes to most romantic shows that you get, the whole premise is boy loves girl, girl loves boy. They spend the whole fucking show trying to get to love that person, and in the very last episode they love them, fall in love, ask them out, realize their true feelings, etc. and so forth. In My Love Story, they do that in the first 3 episodes, and the other remaining 22 episodes is of them and their relationship, and introducing all of their ups and downs and how a relationship would be. To me, it's fantastic. It's amazing. It's incredible. Because not many shows do that. I know it's becoming a current trend lately, especially with Say I Love You and My Little Monster. It's just become the new trend to show it, and what I've noticed is in this particular show, it shows the good side of a relationship. Because in those ones, it showed, the bad, the rough times, learning to trust the other person. When it comes to this show, it's nothing but good. There's a guy in here, I forget his name, it escapes me right now, but it's his best friend. He's probably one of the best friends in any show I've ever seen. He is the man when it comes to being a bro. And everybody's just happy, everybody gets along, everybody's together, and they love each other, and you really feel for this couple, and you just can't help but just be happy for them. To me, that's the thing that's really, really good about it, is that it's rewarding and it's happy. And the fact that My Love Story went with the idea to just go with they fall in love and start dating in the first 3 episodes, and then the rest you get to see what they entail and what they go through. Incredible. I loved it. I love that idea, and they need more shows that do that. And to me, this is pretty much the standard now. My Love Story is going to be the standard when it comes to shows to beat when it comes to romance. And there are some classic old ones that I like that borrow from the old formula, but I definitely want to see more that are like this, because to me those are more interesting than the finally asking somebody on a last episode. To me, I want to see what they do in the relationship, what makes them better, what makes them stronger, and what makes them grow as a couple. So good job, Madhouse. Madhouse, by the way, has had a great year in anime. This is just one of their incredible shows. Parasite. It's great. I mean, a lot of people love it. I love it. It takes an old 80s manga, modernizes it, and makes it great. Great animation, great story. Parasite, if you haven't known or if you're living under a rock or whatever, is a story basically about a guy who gets a parasite in his hand. His hand can transform, do any things, it can talk back to him, and other people get infected with these parasites that live amongst humans. And the parasites are monstrous and everything, but as our character Shinji grows, he gets attached to this part of his body basically, and he becomes more like the parasite, and as the parasite grows he becomes more human as he matures. And it's a very interesting idea. It's a very interesting progression throughout the show. Not only is it pretty violent and awesome, but it's also very thought-provoking. You can definitely tell it's an 80s manga because there are no really strong female characters in this, and strong female characters are hard to come by. And in the 80s in Japan, they weren't even hardly ever there, other than just wearing skimpy outfits and being Sailor Moon and all that shit. Anyway, it's a great show, a very catchy opening theme song, and really good. I mean, the ending was it wasn't bad. I would have preferred a better ending. There were a couple of parts where it got a little preachy about the environment, and I'm thinking, the fuck does the environment have anything to do with this show? But other than that, I didn't really have much to complain about. I liked it. Very fun show. I'd totally watch it again. Death Parade is a really good show. And when I say a really good show, I mean it's incredible. Death Parade is a show that tells a story, very simplistic kind of story, but very original and different. See, in Death Parade, there's an arbiter that waits for you. He's in a bar. Two people come in, and he decides your fate on a game, and the game is completely random, and basically whoever wins the game and whoever loses the game, they get to choose whether they go to heaven or if they go to hell. And it's kind of an interesting concept because just the whole heaven and hell, where do we go when the afterlife is all said and done. I saw a little bit of this when it was called Death Billiards, and to me, when I first saw it, I thought it was incredible. When it started, it was just one episode talking about it, and then we just saw a continuation of random people, and heck, I liked those. But as the show went on, it delved deeper into the idea of this arbiter, this person. Can he make a good judgment call just based off of these two people that he's known for probably a good 10 minutes? Can he be the judge, jury, and executioner and see who's going to heaven, who's going to hell just by that interaction? And to me that was like a whoa kind of thing, like saying even gods make mistakes, even people in the afterlife aren't as perfect as we would like to think. And that was a really neat sort of thing. It was a very bittersweet ending, because we have our arbiter and then we have this girl. She doesn't know who she is and she tries to remember who she is. Then towards the end she remembers. And I won't say any more so that I won't spoil anything, but it ends on a good note. I thought it ended with very insightful, sort of thought-provoking things. Sure, maybe it didn't get much into the side characters as much as it should have, but just the idea and the originality alone of Death Parade was enough for me to love it and keep watching it. And by the end of the whole show, I was satisfied. Very much so. When it comes to slice of life shows, there's a handful of shows that I can honestly look at and say that are good, that are okay, that are average, that are the same fucking shit that you see every goddamn time I'm looking at you, Haruhi Suzumiya, and Lucky Star, and all those shit. Anyway, when it comes to my teen romantic comedy Snafu, after this season I can honestly say it's the best slice of life anime ever in the history of mankind. This guy, and when I say this guy, our main protagonist, Hachiman Hikigaya. He is the best male protagonist in anything. He's really good. He's blunt, he's not afraid to say what's on his mind, he's intelligent, and he also makes mistakes, but like a good main character, he learns from his mistakes. And he learns so hard. Why? Because he's a young man and he's growing and he's becoming more intelligent and learning how life is as he gets older, how life really is. What he always thought was an idea for what his youth was turns out to be much more complicated than what he originally thought. I could dissect this whole show and it would probably take me hours before I'd even get to my point, but basically what this show is about is life and being young, and it's a brutally honest show about high school. It's about the love loss, the being alone, the fear of wanting of losing somebody, the wanting to be popular so bad, the, putting on a front just to become somebody. This show just breaks down all those walls of what you know as anime tropes and stereotypes and just makes it so fucking real. The dialogue is incredible, and just the characters are what make the show what it is. If it wasn't for this man, and for the side characters are great too, this show would not be the show that it is. And honestly, I am so glad I watched the first season so that I could see the second season. That to me makes it the masterpiece that it is. Of course, it's not over, and to me that's the only downside. That's what makes it less than perfect. It would be perfect if it had a good ending, but it is not there yet. And hell, I was honored to get a second season. When I found out that they even were going to make a second season of this, I praised Jesus and said, thank you, God. Because shows like this don't get second seasons. Not only does it have better animation than the first season, it's a different company, it's a different everything. And they just captured the same feel of the show, and they brought it all together, and they made it even better. I didn't think they could top the first season, but they did. They topped it with this. And for those who haven't seen Snafu, who are into the slice of life genre, I highly recommend watching Snafu. Watch the first season, because you're not going to understand anything if you watch this season. Watch this season, and then once you get through the first season's good too. Don't get me wrong, I love the first season, but once you get through the first season, you will love the second season and just fall in love with everything that it is, and the fact that there are shows that have great storytelling and that they are out there, and this is an example of what a good show is. There are animes that need to follow suit and need to understand that this is the show that they need to be better than. That's how good Snafu is. What Madhouse, you had a great year in 2015. One Punch Man is the best anime of the year. Period. Nothing was better than this. It was out fucking standing. One Punch Man takes just a simple you know, I'm a superhero, I'm gonna beat up bad guys, that sort of rule. Turns it into like a spoof kind of sort of joke, and then just actually kind of gives you a little bit of thought-provoking excitement and entertainment as well. It's the best animated show of the year by far. When it comes to shows that have the guts and have the balls to actually want to put money into an actual show and make it look this fucking good, there's no standard that can possibly beat it. The fact that you can dump all this money into a show and make it look that good and give me goosebumps, and to make it the best show you could possibly get, more studios and more shows need to be as courageous as One Punch Man. Because when it comes to most studios, they use CG and all that fucking bullshit, and they don't even want to try to take a risk. And I just say that's sad. You know, if you're that proud of the product and you're that good of it, then do it. I mean, honestly, One Punch Man, you're never gonna forget what it is. And it's because of how beautifully animated it is and just how neat it is. This is the reason why I love anime. Is because of shows like this. Kill la Kill is like this. One Punch Man is just outstanding. I mean, you could literally mute this sucker and just sit back and just let your eyes look at it, and you just go, whoa. But yeah, One Punch Man. If you wanna see a better show out there, you won't find any better than One Punch Man. The creator of One Punch Man is in talks, and he's saying he's going to try everything in his power to make a second season. And that makes me happy, because the way that it ended, it could end right now and I would be just fine and content and happy with it. But if they somehow, fingers crossed, made a second season of One Punch Man, I would love to see what they could do with it if they made it exactly the same with the same budget that they had. So, with that being said, One Punch Man is outstanding, best anime of the year. Look no further, One Punch Man is the best. Well, there you have it, folks. My top 10 2015 anime of the year. Hope you all enjoyed it. Excuse me. Let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you disagree, if you agree. Let me know. And I want to thank all my 50 subscribers. I can't remember where I was last year at this same time, but I definitely wasn't at 50. Hell, I don't even know if I was at 30 last year at this same time. I don't know. All I know is that I thank you 50 for staying here with me, even if I've been gone for periods at a time. You know, I don't know if I'm gonna stay and do this stuff for like a long period of time. Hell, you might not see another one of mine for 2 months. I just know that this is, I love anime. I love doing these whenever I get the time. So don't ever think that I won't ever take any more requests. If you have any requests, put them down there. I'm still working on a few as I speak. And thank you very much. Let's 2016 be a great year like 2015 was. And I'll probably come out with a worst anime list, because I gotta get some things off my chest about those shows. Thanks for stopping by. Everything Animated.